give a big welcome to the legend, Pete Markey.
All right.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. So I expected to see the medals hanging off you, all those accolades.
No.
One of our top marketeers in the UK. It's a privilege to be
Nothing like that. It's great to be here. And thank you everyone for coming. I always worry when you sign up for these things that no one's going to come. So thank you, particularly for my team who filled out pretty half the audience for me, and I'm sure a few family members as well. But great to see you all. Thank you, and thanks for coming.
So let's kick off. So Boots, obviously a well-established brand, been around for many years, part of the high street. But the big question is, the world's changing, retail's changing, consumer habits are changing. How do you ensure that it keeps really relevant in this modern era that we're in?
It's a big question we ask ourselves every day. I'm going to start by straw poll in the audience. How many people here have the Boots Advantage card? I knew I loved this group. Fantastic. Okay, that's a good start. Something's going all right. So there's some Boots fans here already, which is great. Those that haven't, please see me afterwards and I'll sign you up. It's the ad card's amazing, but it's just one of the things that we do in our offering at Boots that we need to keep evolving and changing. So we're 176 years old this year. Amazing heritage founded by the Boot family, all about democratizing healthcare and bringing beauty to the UK that had never been done before, quite revolutionary. But you've got to stay relevant in people's lives. There are so many retailers and brands that we've all known and loved, and particularly in my lifetime, that disappeared because they become irrelevant. I used to love renting films from Blockbuster Video. They ain't there anymore. I bought the pick and mix from Woolworths. Woolworths died years ago. Unless you refresh your offering and stay relevant in people's lives, you end up in a precarious position. So my job, and the job of the brilliant team you've got in the room today, is how do we keep Boots front and center in people's minds? And there's a story that my team know inside out now, is when I joined Boots 4 years ago, and I said, I'm joining Boots, because people always then tell you a story about Boots, like my cousin used to work in the Cambridge store on a Saturday, and all these sort of stories come out. But people kept using this phrase, good old Boots, yeah, good old Boots, to the point where it started to really annoy me, this sort of sense that, thank you, this sort of sense that Boots is this sort of good old thing. But actually, Boots is, if we're doing it right, this amazing, vibrant thing that's in your life today that you need in your life, that's relevant in your life today. So we coined the phrase in our strategy to go from good old Boots to, oh my God, wow Boots in everything we do. So in all the communication, all the activity, everything you see us doing, there's this incredible, modern, fresh, relevant Boots that you go, oh my God, Boots have got that beauty brand, that health service, that wellness offering, that thing I need right now today. As opposed to a slightly recessive brand where you go, you know, I could walk past that store. They're there if I need them. And that's been the shift to go, how do we create an environment where Boots is relevant every single day, not just when you need a new lipstick or you've got a cold, but for every moment and every aspect of your life. And the final bit in that story is we reinvented ourselves for a new brand purpose a couple of years ago and re-articulated as that Boots are with you for life. And the reason that's important is that's a purpose, but also a promise to be with customers at every stage and every moment in their life. And when you're a brand that says that, you're not just there for a cold, you're there for every aspect and every moment of their life. And the reason that excited us as a team, and has certainly connected well with customers, is there are very few brands that claim or promise to be with you through all of life's moments. There are lots of brands you can think of, we can all think of, that are talking about a better future. We're here for brighter tomorrows and sunnier Thursdays, and great. But what about today? What about really shit days and really great days? So our With You for Life is to say, if you're having an amazing day, you're going to a party and you want to shop a new look, come to us. But if you're feeling crap, come to us as well. If you've got a cold, we help. We partner with Macmillan and we help people battling cancer. If someone's going through chemotherapy, they can come into our store, meet a beauty specialist, have a whole beauty regime tailored around the fact they're going through chemotherapy. Those are not good days, but we're with you through those days and amazing days as well. We are with you for life. So that sense of going from good old Boots to wow Boots, that sense of being with you through every moment of life's journey, good or bad, has been the driving force behind what we've tried to do to make the brand increasingly relevant in the last 4 years.
And of course, that's not an easy thing to do. It takes a huge amount of curation. I mean, you're a huge organisation. You obviously have to mobilise everyone from the shop floor, colleagues, all the way through the marketing teams. You have to keep the exec on board with everything that's happening. Yeah. But the one thing you mentioned there was very much around purpose. Now, we talk a lot as marketeers, the whole industry talks about purpose. Some people believe, what does it really do for an organisation? But clearly, it's very much at the heart of Boots. So this whole idea that purpose can equal profit, not at the expense of profit. So maybe just talk a little bit about what it means, you know, being an employee of Boots and really having this purpose about being with the customer every step of the way. And how do you live that? How do you imbue that? And how do you, as a CMO, really kind of push that through the organization?
It's a great question. For anyone looking at areas on purpose, where these things tend to fail is if they become an initiative that's just about the marketing team and they sort of stay in the marketing team and it gets labeled as the marketing team are trying to come up with a new end line or a new campaign and it sort of gets stuck there. The best bits of work I've done around a purpose are very edgy and very difficult in the conversations you have and are led from the exec team down. So you work on it together. And it's all about a movement as an organization, not just a marketing. If it's a marketing movement, you've immediately failed. If the finance director thinks, oh, it's great, you're doing a new campaign, failure. If the HR director thinks, oh, great, is this for the Christmas ad, you failed. If people aren't having a conversation about how does this fundamentally change or evolve what we do and how we operate and the decisions we make, that purpose will fail. There's an amazing model that Interbrand have done, which basically has looked at all the brands that have successfully delivered their purpose and turned it into profitability. And it says their success lies in delivering that purpose through 4 main areas. The first of which is communications and storytelling. So you need great campaigns and great content, absolutely. And most of the people in the room, we do that brilliantly every single day. But there are 3 other really important boxes. The second one is people and culture. So are your people in every aspect of what you're doing living and breathing it? Because if you walk into a Boots store and we haven't lived and breathed it, then your purpose is not firing on all cylinders. Then there's environment and channels. Are the shops, are the website, you know, are the things that through which you interact with us delivering the purpose too? And the final one is products and services. Are the things we offer living up to that purpose too? And Interbrand would say that I agree with it. If you're living and breathing all 4, and all 4 of those are owned in slightly different parts of an organization too, then your purpose is really firing on all cylinders, and you really are delivering it, and you're going to drive that growth. So that's the journey we've gone in Boots. We basically built out With You for Life as a purpose that was going to drive the entire business and drive everything that we do, and is owned throughout the organization. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, there isn't still more work to be done. And in fact, some of the teams sat in the room today are doing some amazing work right now on how we deepen it and take that further. Because it's an ongoing thing you've got to do. But the purpose is something to which we're doing a lot of work on our strategy at the minute. The purpose is front and center in that strategy work. It's part of the conversation. It's part of the narrative. It starts in the purpose. We exist for this reason, therefore we're going to do this. If you get to that point, fantastic. I think for my question on anyone doing any purpose work or any purpose you've got in an organization, if your strategy and your go-forward plans don't start with why you exist and who you are, then that purpose is just literally, it's like a poster hanging in the office toilets. It's just irrelevant. It has to be a live, breathing, living entity that drives your decision making.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole Simon Sinek, isn't it? You start with why, then you move on to the how and the what.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's a difficult challenge. I've been there. I've been in their shoes where you're trying to balance the long-term view of really have a clear definition of who your brand, why you exist. You know, products, yes, they need to be great products, but they're only great if they're really clearly differentiated about why you as an organization exist in the first place. So it's no mean feat that you're trying to manage that. Now, the other area which Boots, you know, you've had a very successful journey on is around data, obviously Advantage Card. And I imagine there are probably conversations easier to have with CFO and commercial colleagues about the insights you're getting from that. But you're spending a lot of time on Advantage Card and data. I know there's some new things happening. Why don't you talk a little bit about the journey you're going on there?
Yeah, happy to. I'll answer both points because your insights are really powerful. So the relationship between marketing and finance is, for me, the most fundamental one in the business. Is if you can't convince your finance colleagues that what you're doing is paying back and is a really good investment, then you're always going to struggle in any business you're in. So the first port of call for us as a marketing team 4 years ago was to get around the table with our finance colleagues and start talking the same language around profitability and growth and driving growth in a business. So if marketing seems a cost, and a cost you could just take a red pen and cut, oh, we'll just take $1 million out here. Those should be really difficult decisions to either invest more or take money away because it's an investment, not a cost. We did a lot of work with the finance community and a brilliant CFO we had at the time who was quite visionary to go, we invest to grow and marketing is going to be invested and is going to help this business grow. And a lot of the journey we've been on the last 4 years and why we've seen those 14 quarters of consecutive growth is because of a sustained investment in our marketing and what we're doing. You know, marketing works, yeah? And the long and short of it, if you've ever seen that case study, it works. If you invest in your brand, you will drive that long-term and short-term growth. So that was a starting point. But the Advantage Card, and thank you again for everyone that put their hands up, is God, 1997 that launched. And so we basically went back into re-looking at the proposition a few years ago, and you still get a very generous point scheme. It's 3 points in the pound. If you're part of the clubs, it's higher. But we introduced something a couple of years ago called Price Advantage. So if you're shopping in store or online, you get immediate discounts off the products that have got the pink tickets on. And that's done really well for us. And also you get 10% off Boots' own brand. Again, this is a really good reason to sign up. If you haven't signed up already, sign up afterwards. So 10% of all Boots' own brand. What a great deal. And that's helped us really regrow the base. But the proposition has done that. But also we've invested more in promoting the Advantage card. So up until 2 years ago, the last time we'd spent any serious money promoting the Boots Advantage card was Christmas 1997. I had to find the advert, and it had a song by a singer called Paul Young on it. And those of you who know the 80s would know Paul Young. Paul Young's career ended in about 1984, so quite well we picked him to come back in 1997, not sure. Apparently they sold so few of those records, they melted them down to Tarmac the M25.
Apparently wherever he left.
So there you go. It's a very famous campaign for that reason. But so we thought, hang on a minute, the last time was December 1990. So we brought it back a couple of years ago and actually put an above-the-line campaign out promoting the Advantage card. And that really helped restart and turbo the journey with this new Price Advantage proposition of the Advantage cards here. It's great, but we're really dialed up talking about it. And there's ongoing conversations about how we further evolve our loyalty offering. Back to the relevance bit, so hopefully most of you have got the Boots app, you've got push notifications enabled. A lot more is going in that direction around how we make offers even more personalized and tailored to each of you. So the things that you might want, Simon, will be different to things I want. You currently might get the same offer, there's some clever targeting, but how do we get to a point where it's even more laser sharp? You open the app up or you're prompted when you look at your phone, those are things that really matter to you, the things in your life that you want to get discounts or benefits on as well. And that's the direction loyalty is going in. So I'm really excited about what's next. But no, great. We've now got 17 million active card holders. That's up about 2.5 million on 3.5 years ago. And so the growth there is brilliant. And what that also does is a plug, if you're around today, later on, and you're able to go to the retail media area by SMG. A number of my team are there talking about our retail media offering, Boots Media Group. That data really powers that activity, really powers it. And so the suppliers we work with who are brilliant, the L'Oreals, the Procter & Gamble's, Unilevers of the world, and more. Part of the reason we do such work together is because of the strength of Advantage Card and what we can then do in reaching our audience on their behalf. So an example would be using secure data bunkers. If you are a supplier and you want to target a particular type of customer while they're watching Coronation Street on ITVX, you can do that through Boots Media Group. We can do that now. We can do all those things and access our own channels. But all of that's made possible by the strength of the Advantage Card. So it's a really important part of the strategy.
Yeah, and you've been real pioneers on the whole retail media. I remember at the Madfest Festival in London, it was being talked about there. So, when you look at loyalty and Advantage Card and you see retail media, is that where you see the future of loyalty is going, is more from a point of view of really understanding that deep level of customer data that you can actually get this utopia of personalization? Because that's ultimately what will drive loyalty if it's uniquely personal. So do you see, where in the future do you see that? And, how far away do you think Boots is from kind of really being at the forefront of that?
I think it's a great question. I think it's got to go in the direction of greater personalization. I can't see it going in any other direction because our lives have changed so much in the last few years. If you look at even the media we consume and how relevant that content is becoming, even platforms like Instagram and TikTok, the content, the more that's tailored to you. And we all know this, but I did a little test on Instagram recently where I like science fiction, okay, so please tolerate me for a minute. And I started liking pictures of spaceships from Star Trek. You can now think I'm incredibly sad now. And then suddenly my entire feed was spaceships. I'm thinking, but I don't want to see all spaceships. But it just knows, oh, you like spaceships, I'm going to give you more spaceships. So you can see our content is going in this direction. And therefore, I think for offers and tailored offers, then that's what you expect. I expect you to know me more, therefore understand the brands that are important in my life and the ecosystem, the skincare regime I use, the hair care products, understand more about me and promote the things I want. Therefore, you understand my life, therefore, you've got a role in my life. And I think the brands that don't go on that journey are in a difficult position because you are just a click away from becoming irrelevant, a click away from an app that I used to use that I don't use anymore. So I think that relevance, that hyper-personalization is going to be increasingly important, and AI is going to help us a bit in that journey of discovery, and we're already working with media owners that are doing exactly that today. It's really exciting. It's the stuff I dreamt of doing back when I used to send loads of direct mail earlier on in my career. You dreamt of that day when the direct mail pack you got is different to my pack, and it was personal, but the fact you can do that through digital channels is amazing now. So I think that's the future, and it's just going to be a constant opportunity just to keep evolving that and making the user experience behind it even better. So I think it's personalization, but it's also speed. You know, I want this thing quickly. How can I get that physical product to you in the fastest way? And one of our big growth areas as a business is you can now order boots through Uber Eats, through Deliveroo, through Just Eat. You know, that's accelerating for us as a business through those platforms because of the immediacy of, I see it, I want it, I can get it. Or I'm really ill and in 15 minutes I want a full cold remedy pack. But I think that combination of immediacy and personalization is exactly where this is going.
Yeah. So you mentioned AI there. We're not going to go into the AI route. We're going to move it to real people route and talk about talent.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it a few times. You're a big advocate for the people in your team. I see you posting regularly on LinkedIn, celebrating what your teams are doing. So that leadership piece is clearly, you know, a massive part of your role. So why don't we talk a little bit about how you foster talent within the Boots marketing organization, and maybe a little bit about the North as well, because I know you have some operations up here that you're bringing people in as well.
So yeah, so we have a proud heritage in the North of England. So Boots was founded, the first store was in Nottingham, our head office is in Nottingham, in a place called Beeston, a very small part of Nottingham. But it's an amazing office, and it is the heartbeat of Boots as a business, and there's so much heritage still in Nottingham as a city. And the Boot family had a massive impact. They donated most of the land for the university, they donated to the parkland, so the Boot family stamp is literally all over the city. It's very powerful, and powerful story. But within the team bit, I've only just recently started to think about what's my strategy when I come into business, because you almost don't decode it till some of you step back and think about it. I know for some people, and I've seen this happen, some people come into a business and do what I call a scorched earth strategy, like everything is shit, burn the ground down, get rid of everyone and start again. Unless it really is shit, that's such a dangerous strategy. And mine is what I call bottle the magic. So you get into a business and you go, where are the rock stars? And there are always people in a business that are absolute superstars. Find them, celebrate them, elevate them, and let them loose. Step one. Step two is then where have you got gaps alongside those rock stars, those superstars, where you need to bring in new talent, and then build the team out that way. And my lead team are brilliant. They're very diverse in thought and approach, but they're a mix of people that have been in Boots many years, but still agitate to progress and change, and those that are new in across the last 3 or 4 years. And that combination is amazing because you get fresh thinking, fresh challenge, fresh thought. I've also got a leadership team that has an HR business partner, a finance business partner, with the insight team in there, don't directly report to me, but all people that have an equal say, an equal voice around the table. So that's how I build the team up. But then the team has a life force of its own, and my approach is very much to, I used the phrase a minute ago, is just let people loose to fulfill and unleash their potential. I remember years ago I had someone amazing working for me at British Gas who then went on to become like the CEO of an energy company. And I was talking to someone about what's the best approach to develop this person, and they said, get out of her way. And it was the best expression, is just get out of her way. And I was like, okay. So I literally went, okay, we'll agree what we're doing, right? I could literally go for it. And it was an amazing experience to watch her just go, boom. And it taught me a lot about leadership. My job is to get out of people's way. So I'm there to help to create the environment where people can succeed and flourish, but my job is to let people loose to succeed in their own way and be amazing, and to get out of the way. And when we've got presentations to do where we're talking to senior stakeholders of the work, I want those people in the room that they present the work. I can present it for them, I've done it 100 times, but what's the point? I want them to have the experience. With one particular senior stakeholder who's really important in the business, amazing founder of the organization in terms of the collective companies we're in now, I want the team to have a chance to present to her. Why not? Because you've done the work. Come and celebrate and share your work. So I think there's a lot to be said for unleashing that potential. The final bit I'd say is, as a team, we all work on the marketing strategy and approach for the year. We're all clear and we're all invested in that together. So everyone feels they own, as we come into it, they own the plan together, and everyone has a role to support each other and for that to succeed. But then it is a case of people being unleashed to be brilliant. And I'm very lucky. I've worked for some amazing people. This is genuinely the best leadership team and the best team I've ever had in my career. They're amazing people. I'm proud of them all. They're great.
Brilliant. So wonderful to hear. And I think what you've described there, although not directly, is how you're clearly quite good at marketing within the organization. You give everyone an opportunity to have a say. You promote people forward. So the business gets a whole sense as a collective here that are generally working and supporting with the business. And I like the fact that you see other parts of the business partners, you mentioned HR and talent, all very much part of it. So yeah, it's obviously recognised, and you see that in the good things that are coming out. And then quickly, Jellyfish, you're working with Jellyfish, you've done some in-housing here, haven't you? Is that, I believe, in Manchester, so you've got a little bit of a hub here, is that right?
Yeah, we have, yeah. It's so Jellyfish team have been brilliant. We've in-sourced, so some of the media team here, and they've done a brilliant job. Particular shouts out to Neil and Ollie, who are here today. We've in-sourced most of our performance media now, working, and we've got some office space in Jellyfish we use for that team. It's been an amazing move to be able to have more direct control over channels like paid search, affiliate marketing, social, paid social. It just gets you closer to the action and the decision making. You can just act faster and also create the links with the team developing the creative and the assets. So it's been great. But Jellyfish has been an amazing partner because they, when you share a vision together, you've got an approach, work together, you're working on a sort of common, I guess, common goals that you want to win together and you want to break new ground together. It's brilliant. So it's been an amazing journey to go on. Actually, from the team developing the business case, sounds easy. You go, yeah, we just in-sourced it. God, the journey we went on from that's why Ollie on the front row, the business case to taking it to the finance team, to the exec team, to get the people in, to do it, and all lots of hoops. But God, was it worth it? So if you think about an in-housing journey, it's definitely worth it. We've in-housed. Apart from the bigger activity, most of our creative we do is social and content ourselves. Only really a big ideas and influencer stuff we do outside of the team now. And it's just meant we're so much faster at what we do. Our speed to market's gone up, the quality is really strong, and the costs have come down. And it just means we're able to get out there and win in the market much better and much faster.
Brilliant. Final question, because I know you've got to shoot off, busy man, probably doing some other big event somewhere else. Not bigger than this, though, because it's the biggest.
This is the only place to be today, all right? Yeah.
So, crystal ball moment.
Yeah.
Looking ahead 5 years, what do you think is the one challenge that you think this is what Boots really needs to kind of get on top of?
I think it's one we're already on top of. It's more just how we keep pace with it. So I think some of my team, I think Tom's in the audience somewhere, I'm smiling at Tom in the distance over there, is working on this on beauty. So speed to market. So I'll do a straw poll. I love straw polls. How many people here are actively using TikTok? Okay, see, I mean, what a shift, eh? And if you're not, see me afterwards. No, it's fine. It's TikTok is just, in terms of the speed in which TikTok has arrived, but also how things that trend really quickly, and particularly things in beauty. So the speed in which you see something, it trends and you want it has gone right up. So Korean skin has emerged from nowhere. Suddenly it's a big thing. Brands like Made by Mitchell, Bubble by Oma explode on TikTok. So the opportunity for us as a business is how do you spot the trends, spot the brands, get them before everybody else, work with those brands and move on them. But also, how do you spot those brands that are going to win and those brands that may not win in the long term? So our challenge, which we're already on, and all those brands I've mentioned are available in a number of Boots stores and online now. We've got to, I know that's right, another plug for Boots, available now, boots.com. But that's, I think, the greatest challenge opportunity is pace. How do we stay at 176 years old, really pacey, really agile, and get around those trends in a very, very fast-moving, dynamic market? Health's also the same, though. It's not just beauty. Things will suddenly start trending on TikTok around health. Are we responding fast enough? And we're definitely grabbing that challenge and winning. But your 5 years thing, I think that pace in all our lives is going to accelerate. I see a trend, I see it, I want it, I need to get it. How we respond to that is going to be all about how we win in the future.
Better get your boots on then, haven't you?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete. That was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.